I don't know what that was. I was trying to do sexy music because we're going to talk about sexy stuff today. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Simply Amazing. It is simply amazing to have you all here with us. We are so happy to have you, although we have a bone to pick. This episode is about picking a bone with something we read on the internet, and we are very angry about it. But first, before we get into we are angry. I should have brought my gavel out. I have a gavel. I was an auctioneer back in the day. I have a gavel. I should have brought it out to bang it because we are angry. We have so much to say about this. But before we get into it, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Lisa, aka the OG Nocturne, aka Nocturne, everywhere you can find me. And of course, we have the fabulous.
What's up, guys? It's Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bye. And I just want to say, Lisa, I love your shirt because it's a complete attitude for this episode. Down, bitch! At the person on the internet that wrote the thing that we are mad about, which we will talk about. That's exactly what I say to them.
I want to do a quick little shout out because this is one of my favorite podcast shirts. It's from Obsessed with Disappeared. It's so it can go two ways. It can be either be like, down bitch, get down, stop talking about my man, or it can be you're a down bitch, aka like, hey bitch, you need me? I'm your down bitch. I'll do whatever you need, and that is who I am. So there you go, everybody. We love it. So, but yeah, we're gonna make it. It's gonna be the first meeting today because it's down bitch. Stop talking about Kurt like that because we're coming for you. So, Lauren, why don't you introduce what inspired this episode today? Like what we saw on the Discord that was like, okay, we got to talk about this.
Yeah, so it was in the Discord. I don't remember who posted it. We'd have to look. Maybe Lisa, you can find out while I'm talking. But there's somebody specific than Discord. They put up this article from this site that basically talked about how, excuse the language here, but we cuss all the time, so I don't know what you're here for. But it basically said how Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, what we all love so much, is the most unfuckable X-Man, which, what? Like, you're clearly just trying to piss people off because there's nothing there to that. But you know what? It worked a little bit. We have feelings. I have feelings. Kurt is definitely not the most unfuckable X-Men. And I think it's important that, we give some evidence as this article tries to provide evidence that he is unfuckable.
Yes. I love this. So we're professional podcasters here, so we clearly did our due diligence in researching beforehand. As I'm furiously scrolling through Discord to find out who actually posted this. Oh yes, no, I did find it. It was Young Sarah Cypher posted this. So to be fair, it is from like a gimmicky Tumblr that's called Your Fave is Unfuckable. So basically every day they just pick somebody and say they're unfuckable. But what I love is it's just like they've never been fucked, they'll never be fucked. And it's funny because like for a character that has on screen, like in canon, been fucked several times, it's just a great thing to talk about. And so I was like, you know what? We're gonna do it. I pulled out my Excalibur Omnibus, and we're going back, ladies and gentlemen, because we are not just going to talk about Nightcrawler getting fucked. We are going to talk about how Nightcrawler doesn't just fuck, he lets his dick do the thinking sometimes. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because we are going all the way back to Exiles. Apologies, I am a Nocturne lover, so of course Exiles comes out of my mouth sometimes. We're going to talk about Excalibur number 16, the Cross-Time Caper. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I highly recommend you go out and read this issue because it is absolute genius. It's a great issue of comics. It's relatively self-contained. During the Cross-Time Caper essentially is kind of a lot of stories that they all do connect, but a lot of them are kind of their own little self-contained stories that you can enjoy in and of themselves. And this is one of them that you can really enjoy in and of itself. It's Kurt Wagner, Warlord of ? But The first thing I'm going to say about this is, like, this is not going to be an issue deep dive. So we're not going to go through the issue page by page like we usually do or anything. Like, maybe one day we will do this with this issue, but this is really just about Kurt getting fucked. So we'll just talk about that. What I love about this is it is so clear that when Chris Claremont, and this is just going to be me gushing about Alan Davis for a second, because Alan Davis, my God, that man, the art he creates is just absolutely outstanding. And you can just tell that Chris Claremont was like, his only note to Alan Davis was like, John Carter. And Alan Davis was like, yes! And every bit of his John Carter fantasy is across the pages of this, because like every page is just like John Carter, John Carter, John Carter, John Carter, John Carter. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. But just to give you like a quick little like recap of what happens, basically, Nightcrawler is thrust into this bizarre fight that is happening. And there is a beautiful blonde maiden who is, oh no. And of course, being Nightcrawler, he just jumps in immediately and starts fighting and saves the beautiful blonde maiden. Turns out she's actually the villain.
Of course.
You know, we find that out at the end of the issue. I mean, well, we're kind of privy to it right away, because after he saves her, she immediately like smacks him on the head with the hilt of her sword. And then he wakes up naked in he wakes up in a pool, a hot tub, and she's there like, oh, thank you so much for saving me. And then she disappears under the water and comes back up without clothes on. It is an incredibly cinematic, very sensual scene that is just absolutely gorgeously drawn. I mean, again, I'm just saying, like, excuse me, your fave is unfuckable.tumblr.com. We've got things to say. All right, that's all I'm saying. So it's just,
looking at those pages alone, like, how can you look at those pages and be like, oh, he's unfuckable? Like, how?
Am I right? Am I right? I'm just saying. Like, and I want to be clear for those of you listening out there being like, oh my God, these girls are like really thirsting for a blue guy on page. Yes and no. It's really more just about, we really just want to talk about this issue because this issue is so freaking amazing. It is such an amazing issue.
I'm not even going to try to justify it. Like, I do want to talk about it, and it's an amazing issue, but also, yes, I am thirsting over a blue guy with a tail that's hot as hell, that's hotter than most human men are. Yeah, absolutely, I'm going to thirst over him. Sorry.
That's fair. I think, though, one of the things that this issue just really kind of rams home for me is
choice of words.
Oh my goodness, this episode might go after dark real quickly, and we're not even ready for that yet. Like, we're not ready. I think what this issue really rams home is like, Kurt is a very fallible character. He is not someone who is without his faults, and one of his faults is a pretty lady in danger. Because I mean, this woman, all she has to do is like bat her eye in his direction, and he's like, "What? Who do I need to fight? I'm fighting them right now." And then, and she's the villain. She's the bad guy. But, she's the one.
See, I feel like this is why Kurt is such a relatable character, even to like gay men and lesbians and stuff, because he's such a simp, and he's such a simp for women in particular, and arguably also men, right? I'm sure a lot of the shippers out there, especially, you know, like people that ship him and Logan and stuff, would say the same thing to that, which I would actually agree with. But he's such a simp, and he's just like, even though you're a villain, you know what? Woohoo! I'm gonna kill everybody for you. And you know what? That's just so relatable. It's so relatable.
It's so relatable. It really is. And then I love the very next scene after the little hot tub scene we have this scene where, you know, Kurt has an opportunity to see her true colors, and he does, because she has her servant. This is Anjali, by the way. Anjali is, I love Anjali so much, and I hate to admit it. She's only appeared in this like one comic, but like, I just think she's a legend because she's just, I don't know, I just love her. She's just such a legend. I'm sorry. Like, if you walk into a pool and your dress just floats to the top, and then you come up naked, you're a legend in my book immediately. That is drag queen level legendary. Like, I'm sorry, she's basically a drag queen. I love her.
That's Emma Frost's level of legendary. I mean, whether you like Emma Frost or not, everybody at this point pretty much has the utmost respect for Emma Frost as a character because of how she is. She is the kind of character that would do something like that. And so the fact that this other character who's only been one issue has done that and gets like no respect or attention for it, it's like, I mean, what the heck?
Yeah, no, she's hot as shit. I love her so much. So this is interesting. I was listening to the Opal Lunar Saturn 9 episode of Cerebro, and Connor mentioned that Angelie is a version of Saturnine that I didn't know, that never was made clear in the books, but apparently he had heard from either Alan Davis or Chris Claremont, or I guess he'd heard it behind the scenes, which is interesting because like Saturnine we know is like obsessed with Brian Braddock, so it's interesting that like this one specific Saturnine was like not. But then again, Brian doesn't show up in this issue. I think he like ended up somewhere else. So maybe that's why she was just like, well, Brian's not here, so I guess I'll take this blue guy. But she also, like, here's the thing. Angelie is not fucking Kurt because she's like, you know, in love with him. She's fucking him because she's trying to manipulate him, right? So the other thing too, so going back to the second page that before I went off on my Angelie love fest, going back to the second page, you have these this servant who is serving them, and the servant makes the mistake of spilling just the tiniest drop of wine on Angelie's skin, and he is terrified of making this mistake. And Kurt notices and makes a point of saying, like, this is weird. Why would he be so terrified of making such a simple mistake? And you can tell like the wheels in his head are turning. And then just immediately she jumps him in the bed, and it's just like, oh, never mind. Dick's talking again. The Dick's in charge. Like, it's just so perfectly done. And again, because like these heroes, I love when these heroes are written as human, because that's what makes them so compelling. That's what makes them so interesting. And I think, you know, as much as we all want to admit and say that our favorites are the best and that they're the ones, you know, they're infallible and they can't do any wrong, well, there's nothing interesting about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of Superman because for the most part, Superman is a character who has been written for the longest time as like can do anything, right? And I know that that's changed a lot and everything like that, but there are characters that have faults are, I think, the most compelling and interesting characters, and I think that's why this issue like rams it home.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Kurt as a character because he's one of those characters that he is similar to Superman in a way, character-wise, that they both are on the outside until you start looking at them with more of a microscopic look. They look like, oh, well, they're all noble. Like, especially once Kurt was written as being very religious, like that was driven in hard, and the priests and everything, and Catholicism. A lot of people still to this day, once they see that about his character, they're just like, oh, well, he's perfect. He's a frickin' priest. Like, whatever, he's boring. But you're absolutely right. No, one, he wasn't always written that way, and two, he's still very fallible, and it's not even fallible as in like he does bad things or anything, even though that is also true. But in this case with this issue, it's more like, have you ever been in a situation where you're tempted to do something you know you probably shouldn't, and you know it's probably not the best idea, but you're just like, I'm doing it, oops. That's basically Kurt here. He's like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't be doing this as a woman, but also I kind of want to. And it's just so fun to see that, because like you said, yeah, like we all do stuff like that at some point, and anybody that is a sexual person, you know, because there are people that aren't, but anybody that is in reality, we can relate to that in terms of like, well, there's probably been a time where I've probably slept with somebody or done something and I probably didn't need to, but horny brain was on.
Yes. You know what's really funny when you talk about the Catholicism and the religion, and I mean, we'll get into this in another episode, but so one of the reasons that he couldn't stay a priest was because he couldn't stop having sex with women, basically. Like, that's another thing. Like, his sexuality is one of his biggest, like, weaknesses. Like, he literally could not stop having sex. He just couldn't keep it in his pants, and that's why he had to stop being a priest. There's a whole arc in the Austin run, which I'm, like, I haven't talked to you about this, Lauren. I'm just going to spring this on you right now in front of everybody. I really want to reread the entire Austen run and do it for the podcast. I'm looking at your face and you're like, I don't know about those. Okay. We'll talk about it later.
No, I don't care. I'm not surprised. You've talked about how fun and campy it is to you, so I'm
bizarre.
literally not surprised.
So crazy. I've been watching in Krakoa. In the Krakoa Discord, there's a couple people who've been rereading it, and I've been watching it with glee. It's like amazing, and because in one of the in one of the early ones, one of the early arcs, there's a whole thing about this evil Catholic church that wants to make Nightcrawler like their pope, in order to then show the world that the Catholic Church has made this demon their it's so convoluted. Anyway, long story short, the reason they can't make Nightcrawler their pope is because he can't stop having sex with women in order to like become the pope. And it's like, so wait a minute, you're the evil Catholic Church and you can do all this stuff, but like you draw the line at sex. Like you can do all the other stuff. Like you can kill people as the evil but you draw the line at sex. It's just so funny.
That's just Catholicism in real life. But also, they don't draw the line where they should on that either, which is hilarious if you could draw. But anyways, that's a whole other real life topic. But hilarious. I think it's hilarious because I think it's important to note as well, like, it's not that Kurt is, like, forcing himself upon women. He can say
no. Yeah, no, it's all
having sex. And, like, what's wrong with that? And I think it's great in terms of he's a character that does have such strong morals and that he is so all these different things. And he is also such a pretty boy and he is all these things. And he so can say, you know what? I have all these big morals and I do believe my religion stuff. But at the same time, I like this nice thing for myself in life. And it's having sex with amazing women. I don't want to give that up. And you know what? He's right. It's very
absolutely. Why not? Exactly. And, you know, it's like just reading the rest of this issue or just paging through the rest of this issue. The thing is, though, the problem here is that he's having a great time with Angelique and he's like getting treated like a king, like laying in bed, drinking wine and having great. Meanwhile, like Alistair, Kitty, and Rachel are basically like fighting for their lives outside while Kurt's like, just like, you know, having the time of his life. So that's the other thing, you know, it's like, and I think that's what we're supposed to see here where, you know, he is really like leaning into the indulgence of like allowing himself to just kind of, you know, indulge and enjoy this woman and enjoy everything that comes along with it. But it's not real. None of it's real. It's she's lying to him.
I mean,
it's all fake. And then he finds out that, you know, the woman that he was fighting with to begin with, Kimry, who is weirdly a female version of him, is actually the one who he should have saved to begin with. And then Angelique is a villain the whole time. It's just, you know, it's just Kurt. Listen, you know, sometimes the dick says yes, but you got to listen to the brain. You just got to listen to the brain sometimes, Kurt. It's okay. You're a man. It's okay. These things happen.
Well, and that said, it's not only just about him and what he wants and stuff, right? The woman, even if she's just using him for manipulation, she still consented and chose to do those things with him. And if she hadn't, then he wouldn't be fuckable. Therefore, he is more than fuckable. And this is just one issue of multiple times where, you know, not only has he lusted after women, but women have lusted after him, whether it's for ulterior intentions or otherwise. And yeah, I mean, it's just so fun. But at the same time, it's also sad because it's just another issue where they really just harp on the theme of, oh yeah, look how lovable Kurt is and look how desirable he is. And yet he still can never find a good person for him. Like, that just makes me sad.
I know. They just keep, you know, they keep letting all the characters who do not want to be married and have children get married and have children. And then poor Kurt desperately just wants a family. And it's just like, nope. But that's for another day. That's for another podcast. So let's do a quick vote after we've done this. Okay. Jury's in. Okay. To the jury. We have presented our evidence. Now we put it out to you out there in the universe. Is Kurt fuckable? Please let us know. We need to know. And we're going to assume that you're going to say yes, because why else would you be listening to this? If you say no, I'm going to be like, you're lying.
Right.
So.
I mean, I think it's just completely obvious. I mean, why do you think my room is half a shrine to Kurt himself and how he looks, and I have all these different versions of him drawn and such? Because not only is he lovable and adorable and cute, but also he can be intimidating and scary at times, but he's also hot as shit. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yes, I think a blue furry guy is hot. Leave me alone.
Hey, listen, he's adorbs. I love him. I have my own little shrine, as you can see behind me. I got my little Conda shrine. It's Nightcrawler, Scarlet Witch, and Nocturne all behind me. So, but if you know me on Discord, then you're not surprised. So, but I mean, like, listen, I think we've all come to terms with it. Kurt is fuckable. If you have a problem with that, come find us. Yeah. So, bang the gavel. Done.
That was so loud.
Judge Lisa has ruled. Kurt is fuckable.
Oh my gosh, this is your first official ruling. Congratulations.
Yay! I'm gonna dig that gavel out. I'm gonna find it now. I really am.
For a second, I know you said dig the gavel out, but it sounded like you said dick the gavel out for a second. I was like,
I'll do that too.
So we need to go after dark right now.
Yeah, we'll save that for after dark. Oh my god, my mom listens to this podcast, you guys. Sorry, Mom.
I'm not. My family can listen to it all they want. They know I'm a mess.
My mom was very cute. She listened to it and she sent me a text. She said, hey babe, you're doing a great job. Just maybe a couple less F words. I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. Yeah, well, thanks for listening, Mom.
Shout out to Lisa's mom. I'm so sorry because I'm the one that has the biggest mouth here. So I'm so sorry. But also, we are unfiltered. And
my mom was born in Brooklyn. Give me a break. All right. She's never heard the F word before. It's okay. It's all good. Come on. So I think, like I said, I think we decided Kurt is fuckable. We're in. Jury is out. You guys let us know what you think. You can find us, of course. We have a brand new website that we just designed, right? It is simplyamazingpod.com. It is awesome. We'll be adding more stuff to it. It's, I personally am no HTML person, so it's as simple as you can make it. But it's kind of cool. So you'll find everything there, but you can also find us at Simply Amazing Pod on Twitter. That's Simply AMZING Pod on Twitter. We're also on Instagram now. We're at Simply Amazing Pod on Instagram. I think that's also without the A. Let me just check really quickly. Wow. I really prepared, guys, as you can say.
We have a lot of stuff going on, but huge shout out because Lisa's the one managing all this stuff on her time, which is super nice. So thank you for doing it all because, yeah, I mean, even if it's basic, the site looks amazing. I didn't think it was basic at all when I looked at it, so.
Thank you. Well, it's out. Okay, well, then in that case, I slaved over it. It was
there
awful.
You go.
I was up all night. It was terrible. No, it's very cute. So yeah, our Instagram is it's the same as our Twitter, Simply Amazing Pod without the A. So it's Simply AMZING Pod. Come take a look at us on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, Nightcrawlers. What about you, Lauren? Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDbi. That's BI, because I'm bi, haha. And you can find all my other links there and all that cool stuff.
Awesome. And for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for listening. If you like us, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, whatever the heck that button is that you hit on whatever you're listening to, hit it. Like us, rate us, review us, give us a 5, give us a 4. If you're going to give us a 3, just get the hell out of here. No, I'm kidding. Give us whatever the heck you want. Give us what you want. We want to hear it. We want to love it. We love you. And for you, that person right there, I see you. I know you're listening to us right now. And I know you're looking at that girl right next to you saying to yourself, I really like her. She's got blonde hair. She's really pretty. And I really want to take her home. But you know what? She might be a villain. But you know what? You are simply amazing.